yo, Brisker's making plays. And that's not easy to catch on when, like, I'm not dialed into Penn State all the time, but every time I put him on, and I was anxious to, do the deep dive on his film once the season ended, but I can't remember how many times I texted Kyle. I was like, yo, what's up with Brisker?
Let's talk about Jaquan Brisker, safety from Penn State. This guy's a fun football player. 6'0", 1'0", 199, 31 3/4 on the arms, verified 4.49. He's right on that cusp, right underneath that 85 consensus grade for us, which puts him as an early 2 as far as the TDN consensus goes. This was somebody who transferred to Penn State from Lackawanna College. This was not a guy whose start to his college career was very prestigious, but you reflect on what the last 2 years have looked like for Jaquan Brisker and the traits that he showcases as somebody who's not going to play that traditional high cover one, high post, sideline to sideline, ball hawk. That's not Jaquan Brisker. But what this dude is somebody who has versatility, can drop down into the box. You're watching him in run fits against Wisconsin and Michigan in short yardage situations, and he's on the backside of the play, flowing through the entire front and making a tackle at the line of scrimmage. And then obviously the instincts that he does have in the passing game. A lot to like. Brentley, I'll ask you first. The most likable trait in your mind with Jaquan Brisker as a football player is what?
For me, it's his toughness and instincts. This is the player you see in both phases of the game, just being able to be so instinctual in the run game when he is, coming down and really filling the alley. He does it with such urgency. He does it. He sees run and he's firing and he's looking to make a tackle. He's looking to make a play. And he looks to deliver bad intentions. But in the pass game, when he's in zone, when he's in the split safety alignments and he's tasked to kind of man that deep half, he's outstanding. And he really is. You read the quarterback eyes, really good in terms of feeling the route concepts, peeling off routes and making plays on the football. So it's all there. But for me, what really sold me on Jaquan Brisker is his ability to cover man-to-man against tight ends. This is a guy who said he's ran 4.4, really smooth, really fluid, really good ball skills, really good ball production during his time at Penn State. So for a guy who is an effective player in the box, both defending the run, both getting after the quarterback on blitzes, and then he's an effective player in coverage, both in zone and in man, he's the exact safety you want in today's NFL. And he's not going to be that classic Ed Reed type of, just a vintage free safety who's ball hawking kind of guy. But how many defenses really play that anymore? Right. It's a lot of too high alignments, and so for a guy who's as versatile and efficient as he is in both phases, he's a guy I'm really high on. I think he has an extremely high ceiling, but also, more importantly, an extremely high floor.
Yeah. Go ahead. If you want to know who Jaquan Brisker is, put on the Auburn game. That guy made 3 game-changing plays, to really keep his team in there and give them a real opportunity to win the game. And it was a lot of what Brentley talked about. This guy played the run really well. He covered sideline to sideline. But then I also think about that play in the end zone. And I can't remember if they motioned the receiver out, but he ran with him, and he looked comfortable doing, right? There was no panic when the receiver released. He stayed patient, and then he made the play, right? So this is a guy that, like Brentley talked about, when you talk about just having one high safety and playing majority zone, you get a lot of man teams, and this guy is comfortable playing man, whether it's on a big slot receiver or a tight end. So I like this guy. He appears to have really good length too, just be kind of a linear guy. He's almost built like a corner, but he's really physical. So I think this guy does have really good range and should be a good prospect in the NFL.
You mentioned the Auburn game. I felt like every time I watched Penn State on TV, it's like, yo, Brisker's making plays. And that's not easy to catch on when, I'm not dialed into Penn State all the time, but every time I put him on, and I was anxious to do the deep dive on his film once the season ended, but I can't remember how many times I texted Kyle. I was like, yo, what's up with Brisker?
It's it's every week, man.
At noon, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, yeah, I'll watch Penn State. Okay,
it's either that or Nebraska, Iowa, right?
Yeah, I'll go
Penn State.
Right, and I'm like, dude, this guy makes play after play after play, and then you watch you love the previews, if you will, just kind of watching TV copies, and you watch the All-22, and you're like, wow, this guy's everywhere he's supposed to be. He tackles, he's got ball skills, he gives you some coverage versatility in terms of split zones and even man coverage, like we've all said, and realize that this is a very complete player with good size. And it's like, if you want an impact player at a position like safety, Brisker's proven that in his glow up over the last 2 years.
Wild thing about it is his effort. There's a play, and I'm pretty sure, Kyle, you remember because you have a very good memory. There's a play where
Just give me the game.
I can't remember the game. That's the problem.
The pressure's on.
He's backside on the opposite hash.
Wisconsin.
And it was the Wisconsin game, and it should have been a touchdown. He hawks from the opposite side of the field, saves a touchdown, and it showed his range.
Was that
his
Ohio
speed.
State?
I can't remember which game
I think it was Ohio State.
But watching that play, and we've seen guys from the backside kind of give up, like, oh, that's a score.
Yep.
And he does not give up whatsoever. He gets on his horse, he opens that stride, and he hawks the guy down. And you talk about his coverage ability. If you go into his background, he's a former corner. So you see why he's able to mirror and match, and he's so comfortable in man coverage. And then his physicality and just overall toughness. Like you said, as an alley defender, not just triggering down, like he doesn't care. Like he's like, okay, just run, let's go. Like he's literally stepping into the alley and he's letting that running back know there's a stop sign here, and I am that stop sign.
That's two great analogies today for Damien. You guys are going to have to go watch the rest of the player profiles to figure out what the other one is. But we've talked a lot about physicality and intangibles and mental toughness and physical toughness and imposing play. Jaquan, for me, the play that I knew he had taken what I perceived to be the next step in his game, it was in the season opener against Wisconsin, the game-sealing interception down in the red zone. And Wisconsin turned the ball over, 18 times in the red zone in that game? But they're in a too-high look, and it was the understanding of we're down in the mid-red, so I don't need to get depth when we're down in the red zone, right? Understanding that space back there is so tight, I don't have to give depth for anything that's going to come behind me. I need to worry about what's in front of my face and squeeze routes that are coming. And Jake Ferguson was the go-to route from the opposite side in a high alignment, and they ran kind of like that bender across the middle, looking to get the ball high to Jake Ferguson, and he buzzed down, and as soon as the ball separated from Graham Mertz's hands, he triggered and he took a perfect angle and he intercepted that football to win and seal that win for Penn State. When I saw that play week one, I was like, okay, it's going to be that kind of year for Jaquan Brisker. And the buzz hasn't been there for him. And I think he's one of those boringly solid players that we see good safeties every year that don't go in the first round. Think about Antoine Winfield Jr. out of Minnesota a couple years ago and how that dude didn't go in the first round. Xavier McKinney out of Alabama and how that dude didn't go in the first round. Buda Baker. Jaquan Brisker's probably going to be that guy this year. I mean, we got buzz for Lewis Sign. We got buzz for Kyle Hamilton. We got buzz for Daxton Hill. Yeah. But, if these guys are going in the top 20 and Jaquan Brisker's going to be there in the early 40s, just take Jaquan Brisker.
Right.
Because you feel good about it.
Right. Because the entire trend in the league right now, as Brentley mentioned at the top, is so much of the too high safety stuff. That's the new flavor, and everybody's going to be chasing that. So if that's what you're chasing because that's the thing you think is going to take away explosive plays, this is a guy who can still get down in the box and fit the run as well and tackle the way that everybody has said that he's capable of doing.
Kyle.
That's right. So this is one of those all underrated guys for us. Not for us. He's an 84, second-round valuation. He's going to go early in this year's draft, but probably not early enough.